Alright, 8, can you put the champagne on ice, please? 11, make sure the place settings are all looking nice. 6, can you go in the backyard and dig up that old pig? Hopefully that'll be good enough. Ah, just the man I wanted to see. Do me a favor, go back in your room, put on something elegant, please, quickly.
And why would I do that?
Because we're hosting a very important guest tonight and I need your help.
What? Why? And what are you wearing?
What? It's a cravat. Please don't embarrass me tonight. Come on, let me see your game face. You need to turn the charm on.
First off, who's coming?
She's one of the old Fae, and she's very respected amongst the more civilized monsters.
Civilized monsters?
Yeah, you know, like your vampires, your man-at-angles, your Frankensteins. They can be bad for business, but luckily we have a truce with them that she enforces, so every now and then we gotta wine and dine her, do a little bit of appeasing, maybe a sacrifice every now and then. But that's not the point. Point is I got another thing I have to take care of, so I need you to share my co-hosting duties for just a bit. Blake's gonna do most of the work anyway, I just need you to sit there and be pleasant.
But no, I don't want to be responsible for that. What could you have going on that's so important that you can't take care of this yourself?
TikTok Artificer, Lilith is expecting her next project. Oh, hello, Ruby.
Oh hey guys, it's been a while.
Indeed. It's been too long.
So what have you guys been up to?
Oh, you know the usual. Depravity.
Damnation.
Desecration.
So as you can see, I gotta make something for these demon assholes again. Gotta make like an animatronic mimic box, not that you asked.
By the way, Rumi, how is that raise working out for you?
It's actually been great, thank you.
Wait, you made a deal with him too?
Of course not. We did that for free.
What, seriously? I've been making payments for like a year and he just gets free money?
Are you unhappy with your deal? Your subscriber count is going up as promised.
Well, yeah, but not exactly raking in the cash yet.
Well, then you should have asked for riches.
Yeah, hindsight is 2020, isn't it? So you see, they're not gonna let me out of this, man. So can you just help me tonight, please?
Okay, fine. But if I do this, can you please talk to Plague about storing bodies in the bathtub? I like to shower before work and it's horrific.
Perfectly reasonable. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Well, sorry guys, I gotta go in there and play host tonight, but we should get together sometime soon and maybe play some Mario Kart?
Of course.
Most definitely.
You're going down this time.
Well, alright, you saw the thumbnail. You know we're making a spooky Halloween animatronic, so in the words of Squiscar Squigelf, let's get like I excited's about it. I'm going to start by making a template out of cardboard. Standard procedure for this kind of thing, and the point of that is so that I can trace and cut out multiple pieces that are the same shape. Wait, you're not going to just like stare at me the whole time, are you?
Well, if you'd prefer solitude, we'd be more than happy to mingle with your other guest inside.
Never mind, enjoy the show. But anyway, now that we have the templates, we can start cutting out the pieces out of foam floor mats. Make sure to have a sharp blade when cutting so that you get nice clean edges. If the knife is dull, it can tear the foam up, and you don't want that. I'm speaking from experience. My life is full of crafting regrets. It's too late for me, but you still have a choice. I'm going to give it a curved top, so I gave this one an angled edge, and I'm going to curl it up a bit. Now to join it all together, we're going to use contact cement. Apply it to every surface you want to join together, and let it sit there and get tacky for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then you're ready to join them all together. Actually, I think I heard the doorbell a second ago. I should probably go greet our guest. I'm gonna step inside real quick, make an appearance.
Your deals with the Fae do not concern us.
And Lilith does not like to be kept waiting.
Well, I can't really do anything until the glue is dry, so see you in 10.
Okay, well, we'll allow it this one time.
I do like when he defies us.
Hey, there she is. Good to see you again, Elvina. I'm sure Plague has already expressed what an honor it is to have you back in our home. So I see you're enjoying those meatballs. Blake made them himself, you know. He's actually quite good in the kitchen. They taste obviously human, right?
Could be fresher.
I see. Well, I've yet to sample them, but I don't doubt your palate. By the way, have you been properly introduced to our roommate yet?
I assumed he was the main course.
Oh, goodness no, we need him to pay rent. But I'm sure whatever the doctor prepared will be just as good. Though if you'll excuse me, I do have to tend to something briefly, but hey, you make yourself at home, alright? Well, I think that went pretty well. Now back to the build. The glue is tacky now, as I said, so I can start joining everything together. Now the trick is lining it all up perfectly because you only get one try with contact cement. But if it's not perfectly flush, you can always do a bit of sanding like I did here. And then I marked some lines and cut the lid off. Next, using a wood burner, I add some decorative lines to give it that sort of made from wooden segments type of look. Absolutely wear a respirator while doing this, and you're going to want to do it in a ventilated space. Like, seriously, this stuff is, I think, toxic when it burns, so just be safe. And once that's done, I cut some strips out of thinner foam that I'm going to use to make those sort of like metal strips that are always on these types of old chests, you know what I mean? You've seen them, you know what I'm talking about. And I try my best to join all the pieces right the first time, because remember, contact cement joins to itself instantly, so try to get it lined up right. But you know, at the end of the day, we're just having fun, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. And if someone doesn't like it, then you can always just ask to see their foam wooden chest. Unless they actually can do it better than you. It's important to know how to pick your battles. That's just a good life skill in general. By the way, did you know that using a heat gun on shallow cuts in foam will make them open up? Because it does. Handy if you want to add a wood grain design to your build. But hey, maybe you don't. I don't know you. But if that's the case, then disregard this tip. Also, while putting on the pieces that are meant to be the metal strips, I noticed that I had cut some too thin, and I really don't like the way they're lining up. So to fix that, I added some more foam, and then I used some quick seal to fill in the seams. I don't know if you need to use gloves, but I always do. Better safe than sorry. And when you're spreading it on, you want to use a little bit of water to make it smooth and easy to spread. And you want to get it right here, because if I'm not mistaken, you can't sand this once it's dry, so you got to get it smooth now. Also, there was an issue that I expected to run into, which was after the lid was cut off, the foam is trying to like bow out, you know, because there's no top holding it in place anymore. So I'm just going to add some pieces into the bottom and the lid to hold it back into that kind of, you know, boxy, flat edges shape. God, that was terrible. And now we can add the motor. It's going to spin this off-centered propeller-looking thing that I made out of wood, and that's how it lifts the lid. You know, we're going quick and simple on this one. No coding or complex machinery, nothing like that. And I actually borrowed this from an older project that I did, which is why it's painted black, but, you know, don't just disregard that. Also, I took it apart so that I can recreate how to assemble it and hopefully give you a good idea of how that's all done. I'll also try to remember to include links to these pieces in the description, you know, make it a little easier for you. Also, make sure that you position the motor at a height that will still allow the lid to close on it. It's a decently thick motor, so you might have to cut some indents like I did, but you can make it work. It's totally doable. And to power this 12-volt motor, I'm going to use this 12-volt plug. And I also added this little button to operate it, so you just kind of give it a little tap and the motor starts to spin, and if you time it right, it'll lift the box up, and then it can hold there, then you tap it again, it'll continue rotating and drop. You know, but I'll show you that later though. For now, we gotta paint this thing. First, I gave it 2 coats of Plasti Dip. That will help the foam take the paint better. But before painting, I'm gonna add some of these upholstery pin things to simulate rivets. But let's be honest, you don't really need to see me add all of them, so let's just skip ahead, and there we go. That's looking pretty good, right? And then I sprayed it with some white primer. If you want the colors to pop, you need to have like a light colored base, so there you go. There is actually some white Plasti Dip out there too, I think, but I didn't have that, so, you know, black Plasti Dip, then white coat. Then I took some shades of acrylic brown and just started smearing them all over the thing. I'm not exactly mixing the colors because I want to have some slight variations in the wood, so I'm kind of just getting both colors on the brush and just streaking it across. And after the brown's done, I lightly went over all the strips of metallic gray and silver. I want some of the brown to come through so it kind of reads like a bit of rust, so I'm not being like super meticulous with the coverage on this. Just, kind of, I guess, a few steps above dry brushing. You want a full coat, but you don't want to be too thorough. Okay, well, I'm letting the paint dry. I'm just going to step inside for a sec.
These distractions are becoming quite vexing, Artificer.
We would appreciate it if you could stay focused.
Yes, the Fae will just have to wait.
What the Fae? No, dude, I gotta pee. Be right back.
He could have just done that here.
Sorry to have to keep running in and out like this. I hope I didn't miss anything.
She was actually just telling us the history of human sacrifice in the old country.
Well, there's a topic I can't get enough of. Seems like you got everything under control in here, though, so if you'll excuse me.
What? No! So, how are you liking the food?
It's fair. But it's not what I'm accustomed to.
And then it makes some glowing eyes. I cut some pieces of polyfoam into eye shapes and wired up a couple of yellow LEDs to make the foam glow. It doesn't look great in like a well-lit space like right here, but in the dark they glow pretty nice. Then I attached it all to this piece of foam that will act as like sort of the face of the creature. You're not really meant to see it too well. Again, it's best in dark environments, so you're not going to get a good look. But you can always go more detailed with the face if you want to. This is sort of just like the basic way to do it, just to give you an idea of how to start it, and then, you can put your own style into it. Also, I had to cut another little slit inside the base of the inside of the trunk so that the face part can slide down into it. Clearance is important with this thing, but it's not complicated. Just kind of close it up and see where you need to cut it, and then cut the hole. And with that, I think we're actually going to call this one done. So there you go. That's a simple Halloween animatronic that doesn't require a whole lot of tools or a whole lot of technical skill to build, no coding, really straightforward. So yeah, have fun with it. And if all goes according to plan, I'm going to have a few more Halloween projects coming out this month, so keep an eye out for those. Alright, there you go. Another payment for Lilith. See you next time. Never a pleasure, always a chore.
He could at least see us out.
Well, it certainly has been a pleasant evening, though I must admit I'm a tad disappointed. I know you've been serving me pig, and usually that would be fine. Human, pig, what's the difference really? But to tease me with such fresh meat sitting right here. But I'm afraid I must insist on having him. For the sake of the truce, of course.
You don't want to eat me, right, Plague? I ran a lot of track in high school, and the meat's all tough now. It'd be hard to chew. You wouldn't enjoy it.
Oh, I'm sure I can manage.
Alright, all finished up now, so let's get this party started. What did you do?